right, 6 minutes after 11 o'clock. Are you anybody's go-to person for a specific area of expertise? I don't think anybody comes to me for anything.
No, me too.
No, me either. But I have a go-to person for car issues. I have a couple of them. I have a couple of brothers that would know. Actually, I have three brothers that would know more about cars than I ever will. And of course, I have a mechanic. I can go to him.
Yeah, Matt. I go to Matt.
And on Carol Ann on Tuesdays, I could go to her with any questions about plants and gardens and things like that. Right? We've got rabbis and pastors. There was a discussion this morning about the plants that can heal and all the places in the Bible that talk about them. And I kind of kept them up on the screen here. One of them says to drink wine. It says, no longer drink only water, but use a little wine for the sake of your stomach and your frequent ailments.
There you go. I like it.
That was in the book of Timothy, it says here.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm reading that right. It says 1 Timothy. Do you say 1 Timothy?
1 Timothy.
Is that how you say the name of that book?
Yep.
And there's another one that talks about the river and all the fruit, yielding the fruit. These leaves of the trees were made for healing. Mm-hmm. So, all that stuff. And then there was this story. It was kind of all coming together. You'll see where I'm going. The 5 endangered North American plants and this with significant medicinal benefits.
Okay.
Plants that are I guess endangered that we can't let them go away because they've got medicinal benefits, right? Mm-hmm. So nobody's going to come to me to ask questions about that, but we can go to David Foreman.
Yep.
And he happens to be on the phone.
He does. He's wonderful.
He is the herbal pharmacist. He's the only one I know that's an herbal pharmacist. And so we'll ask him some questions. I think he's got an agenda of his own. Let's see. Benefit your bust, Robin, it says here.
Oh, there you go. I'm all yours.
Benefit your bust. Okay, let's find out about
there.
this. David Foreman. Good morning, David. How are you?
Oh, that was a cool intro. I like it.
Oh, good. Yeah, we have pastors. We have mechanics. We have you.
By the way, here's a little known fact, because I usually don't throw it out there unless it's appropriate, and now it is. But I've read the Bible cover to cover 21 times since probably 2007. So I average like twice a year. And it was really funny as you were talking about drink a little wine. I knew exactly where it was, which is really odd for me. Like, I don't necessarily memorize verses and chapters but I can tell you what the Bible says. I just can't necessarily tell you exactly where it is. And I wrote a book, several years ago called Four Pillars of Health, Heart Disease. And I don't ever usually talk about the book, when I'm on with you guys, but it actually has a very strong biblical background to the book, because that's actually the walk I walk. So
is that right? Too bad you weren't on this morning, because that was exactly the topic of how the Bible. Like, if we paid attention, we wouldn't need any of the new science because it was already established years ago.
Yeah, it's and I know I'm not on for this, but really cool thing is, like, for people that aren't aware, and I know spirituality and Christianity freaks a lot of people out. So get over it right now. This is what works for me. I'm not saying you have to do it, but in the Old Testament, when God was talking to Moses, he laid out everything, like, don't eat the fat of the animal, don't eat meat with blood in it, and it's real, and then there was like all these little rules on if a person has a sore, what to do about it, and it's funny because of what you just said. It's true. Like, if we really followed those things, we wouldn't have communicable diseases. We wouldn't have, like, these things would not get spread the way they do, and we wouldn't have heart disease the way it is. And if we really live that lifestyle, but nobody wants to hear that anyway.
Right.
No one wants to live that way. Right. And the second thing is, half the people nowadays or more are probably turned off by any religion, let alone Christianity. So it makes it tough. But it's really, I wish I had to listen. I forget. Do you guys podcast? I'd like to listen to that.
Yeah, we do.
Podcast. I want to tune into that.
Okay, we got some computer issues right now, so they're not all getting up there.
Okay,
so
we'll get this one up there.
But the one thing
that'd be cool.
But the one thing I was thinking is this, and I'm not trying to counter any religious beliefs or anything, but I wonder if some of those things were simply because times were different. For example, we didn't boil things and kill germs. We didn't know about that. Or am I wrong about that? Like if it's got
I agree.
Bacteria, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, granted, we have bacteria now that we didn't have back then because they've mutated for all other reasons, and but yeah, I mean, there's definitely I mean, what we know about how to cook things and all that. But I mean, in all honesty, like a lot of that was spelled out in the Old Testament, which actually the Old Testament, the chapters I'm talking about are actually part of the Jewish religion now. So we're covering two religions in one right now.
Right. Two in one.
With
Yeah.
the conversation.
Right.
Yeah. 2 for 1 special today on religion, everybody. Tune into Robin and Larry on WOCA for your religious.
But here's the other thing, David. They have all these oxen in the Bible, right? But I never hear them.
Yes.
I never hear them eating them. They're always eating fish. They never. Maybe because ketchup wasn't invented yet. I'm not sure.
I know they eat a lot of lamb and goat, like that's mentioned in the Bible.
Oh, that's true.
And, actually,
Yeah.
it's interesting. You know what? I'll have to send you a PDF of my book later because I actually have a list of all the foods that were mentioned in the Bible. It's really cool. Like people would be blown away with how many things that were actually mentioned at some point in the Bible, whether it's Old or New Testament, whatever. But like, from things like almonds, people, olives, olive oil. Yeah, I mean, just like for cleaning things, hyssop. And it's really funny as an herbal pharmacist, like you said, hyssop has antibacterial properties. And that's why they were told to clean or cleanse things with hyssop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Yeah, it's kind of cool because I think people read that stuff. If you're a layperson, you go, "This is just a crock of you know what," and but as a guy that's actually now studied natural medicine, I'm like, damn, it all makes sense now.
Do you know what? One of the things too was it's not always ingestible. Sometimes it's like a lotion or something you put on your skin.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. Exactly. And that was the other thing. Like they had mixtures that were put together with like myrrh and hyssop and things like that were truly applied topically. They were not things that they took by mouth. And it was interesting. Like when somebody was sick, they were basically banished from camp until they would come back and be looked at and be allowed to be back in camp with everybody else. So yeah, kind of cool stuff.
I love this topic actually. I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense, right? If you're born in the world on this planet, there's probably something on this planet you're supposed to be eating or to stay alive. And it seems like every animal naturally knows what it should be eating, except for us. We're the only ones who eat Twinkies.
Yeah. I like snowballs myself.
One of my favorite comments along that line is when we get into the discussion of drinking milk. And, we are the only mammal that drinks a different mammal's milk. We are the only mammal that does that.
Yeah.
And you wonder why there are so many
what are you
people
saying?
that have...
I should find some women who are lactating?
We'll put the call out.
I could go for that, actually.
I got this on tape.
I wonder what that would taste like.
And by the way, Larry, when you were introing me and you said I have an agenda as well, benefit your... What did you say? Benefit your bust?
Isn't that what it says?
Isn't that what you said? I think. Yep. Yeah. No. It's or. Bust.
Oh, benefit or bust.
I think you added 2 letters to benefit yourself.
Just a Y. I'm not a good speller.
Well, that's
okay. No worries.
Well, that's what's really interesting about you, David, is that you set us straight on everything. And for your topic, when we got this list of the heart healthy foods that we're told is heart healthy, but they're actually not, you really keep us in that healthy mode.
Well, yeah, and then, so I have in the topic today, I have 4 foods that are normally thought of as heart healthy, and it's not that. In some cases, it's not that they're not heart healthy. It's just that maybe people are consuming the wrong form of it, or you couldn't possibly consume enough of it. Those types of things. So if you have to, I know we have. I think you guys have me scheduled to be here till the bottom of the hour, but
yes.
I hope so.
I'd love to start. I'd love to start rolling through those if we can.
Yeah, you know what? Instead of getting broken up, let me put the ads in here right now, and then we'll be done with them, and then we'll come back with the real reason David is on with us today. All right, we'll be right back. We'll be right back with David Foreman. We're going to learn about heart healthy foods you should break up with. They're not really heart healthy. They are advertised as such. We'll be right back. All right, 18 minutes after 11 o'clock. I started this segment by saying my go-to people for this, that, and the other thing, right? Well, my go-to person for the weather forecast is AccuWeather.com. The AccuWeather, what did it say? It said, no chance of rain today.
That's right.
It's pouring out there right now.
I know.
So just forget everything I said about my go-to people. But David Foreman is still my go-to person for herbs
Exactly.
and healthy foods. Hey, David.
Hey.
You've been in the studio,
It's a
right?
male
So you
moment.
know what this looks
Yeah.
like, right? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. You're at the mall.
I got
Right.
something serious to tell you. I just looked out the window here, and it's pouring, and there was a beautiful young lady in a wheelchair, and she had no arms at all. And gosh, she had a smile on her face, David, and I thought, oh my gosh, look at that. She doesn't even have no arms, and she's happy.
Yeah.
Just sometimes we forget, we're so healthy, and we want to just be a little healthier by making sure we have the right herb or something like that. What's more important, happy or healthy? What do you think is more important, happy or healthy?
I think happy leads to healthy, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's interesting along the lines. Like I can tell you that I've known, several people in my life that have been what I would call wealthier than they ever should be, and every one of those people passed away at a young age. And one thing I learned a long time ago is, you can't buy your health, and life, pardon my language, sucks without good health. Sorry,
It does. No, it does. No.
Candidness on that thing, but it really does. And to see that, like you're saying, like that's heartwarming for what you just shared, to see the joy in the woman's face when, who knows? I mean, she still might have her legs, and she's just happy that she still has those. She's not a quadriplegic versus, so yeah, that's a cool story.
I was wondering that actually. She made a U-turn when she saw the rain coming, so I didn't really get to see. But anyway, just Robert and I played. I know you got important stuff to say, but Robert and I played. Robert and I played at what do you call it? A school for handicapped children.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, really? Okay.
And there was a little boy there with no feet, and he was just sitting there giggling, and the teacher came in, and she said, who left their feet in my room? And she's holding up these two shoes with the feet already in them.
Yeah.
And he had to attach, he had to put them back. He said, oh, I left my feet in your room. And I said, oh my gosh. But they were so happy. I was just like, oh my gosh, listen, look at this. People who have so much sometimes are complaining all the time and killing themselves even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you hear about suicide.
Yeah.
Look at this guy from Lincoln Park. The guy had everything.
Yeah.
Kills himself.
Yeah.
Stupid.
No, I know. Yeah. It's sad. It really is.
Sorry.
I think perspective is good. Sometimes we have to veer from what our agenda is to remind to stop and look around and realize. I mean, one of the things I always do when I go to bed at night is I actually have a prayer, and at the end of it, I spend my time thanking God and actually I do an alphabetical thing. So like I thank God for things in my life that begin with A, and then I go to B and C and D and so on and forth.
You never get to me. You never get to me. You're asleep before you get to the W's. If you thank God,
I could say Larry.
Yeah, but that's the middle. WOCA is way
You're
at
right.
the end. Oh dear God!
I usually fall asleep before J. I can tell you that's true. So anyway,
I'm sorry.
All right, so we're leaving people hanging on these 4 foods. They're all probably going, man, come on, what the heck?
Okay, what do you got?
What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? So I'm going to rip through these pretty quick for you because I know we have a few minutes. So the first one is oatmeal. I'm here to tell you that oatmeal actually is heart healthy. The reason people consume oatmeal is that it's supposed to help lower cholesterol. The problem I have with oatmeal is most people are eating the wrong type of oatmeal. They're eating the instant stuff, which usually contains more sugar, or if you're buying steel cut, which is the good form, you're usually adding a lot of sugar to it, which negates the healthy benefits of it. So, and the other thing is you really need to eat it every day. And I don't know about you guys, but I really don't like eating the same thing for breakfast every morning. So, in my case, if you're looking for truly the heart healthy benefits of oatmeal, or if you're like me and there's just no way I could eat it even once a month. I don't like the consistency. You can buy in your local health food store and grocery store a supplement called oat beta glucan. That's the name of the ingredient. It's actually the component found in oats that lowers cholesterol. So in this case, if you're not eating the steel cut oatmeal every day without sugar, you can supplement, and then you'll get your heart healthy benefits out of that.
All right. You're not going to like the way I like oatmeal. Do you know how I like oatmeal? And I do like the steel cut. So that part I got right, but you're not going to like part 2.
How?
I just put milk in it. I don't even cook it. Just milk, oatmeal.
Oh no, I do the same thing.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I do the exact same thing. Yeah, no, actually, I'm not against dairy. I didn't want everybody to think I'm against dairy. I don't like drinking milk. I think that's gross to me. I mean, I just don't like it.
Right.
But I do add it to things. I mean, I put half and half in my coffee and stuff like that. So, and I'm not against cheese.
I do have a new mother on my block. Maybe I could go to her and get some.
That's right.
Never.
For that.
Sorry.
Make sure you
That's
get
just
a
wrong,
big
man. That's just wrong. That's just so wrong, man.
Hey, I got my oatmeal. Could you help me out here? I got my bowl of oatmeal here.
Yeah. Can I get a few squirts here, please? Thank you. Oh man, that's bad. All right, so moving along, the next heart healthy food is salmon. In this case, again, salmon actually is heart healthy. The reason we eat salmon or other cold water fish is because they're high in omega-3s, primarily EPA and DHA. Those are what we call the marine omega-3s, and they are heart healthy. The issue I have with salmon, really it's not an issue, is that there's really not enough wild salmon left to feed the animals that need it. So sustainability is a major problem with wild salmon. And then farm-raised salmon, sometimes I just question, how they're raised, and are there other things in there that we don't want, like antibiotics, or are things missing because they're being fed food that they don't normally necessarily eat. So in this case, I'm suggesting to use a supplement of an oil from krill, Krill. About a year plus ago, I was introduced to krill by a company that actually does the most research on krill, and they have a form of it they call Superba, S-U-P-E-R, so Superba, okay, Superba. Anyway, I've been using it, and the reason I like using krill over fish oil, and fish oil is not bad, but first of all, fish oil capsules are usually really large. Krill is small. Most people have an issue with digesting fish oil. They burp it and it causes indigestion. Krill oil will not do that. And the third benefit of krill over fish oil to me is that it actually not only contains those omega-3s, it's better digested, they're smaller, but it also has other awesome components to it, like astaxanthin, which is an antioxidant, and choline, which helps with brain and memory and neurologic function. So for me, I like to use krill. I take it every day. I'm encouraging people to find out what their omega-3 levels are. You can learn more about why learning your omega-3 level is so important. I have a blog on my website right now on it, and a link to learn more about how to get tested, because I think too many people take supplements and think they're getting enough, and they're really not, and there's now a test available to show you what your omega-3 levels are. Most Americans are below 4. You need to be around an 8, and when I had mine tested back in March, I was a 10. So I can say I'm a perfect 10, Robin. What do you think of that?
I love that, because you are a perfect 10, sir, inside and out, let me tell you.
I love you. So that's what I would do. And krill's really easy to find. You can find it in, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, that kind of stuff. So it's not like you can find it at Vitamin Shop. I mean, it's everywhere. So it's not, but a lot of people just haven't heard of it. And to me, it's a superior form of omega-3s.
All right.
All right. So I know I'm running out of time. So I've got two more for you. One is red wine. I'm a big fan of red wine. There's actually an antioxidant found in red wine called resveratrol. The thing is, the hang-up I have with red wine is you can possibly drink enough red wine to get the amount of resveratrol you really need to be heart healthy. So, I would never encourage people to drink that much wine. So in this case, you can go to your, again, pharmacy, health food store, look for the ingredient called resveratrol, resveratrol, resveratrol. If you're not sure what it is, ask the person, hey, I'm looking for that antioxidant that's in wine. They'll probably know what I'm talking about. And last but not least, a lot of people eat granola, thinking, it's high, it's packed with nuts and seeds and fruit. The other thing it's packed with a lot of times, and you have to read your labels, it's packed with sugar. And sugar is just evil. We've talked about that before. I don't need to beat that one up anymore. So instead of granola, I'm suggesting people eat things like almonds, or just nuts in general. I usually travel with my own trail mix. I even buy these at your local Publix. Okay, I'm not necessarily promoting them, but this is how easy it is. I buy the raw almonds. I buy a thing of pistachios, maybe a little thing of walnuts, some sunflower seeds, and I mix it all together. And, you know, for me, it's a heart healthy snack. It's low calorie, and it's high in fiber, high in protein, and high in good fat. So those are my suggestions for everybody. I'm not saying those things are bad for you, but sometimes it's hard to eat enough of them or consume enough of them to really get the heart healthy benefits. So supplement is really the way to go.
And that's why you are my go-to guy when it comes to the relationship between natural ways to be healthy and being healthy. You mentioned your website. I want to let the listeners know it is herbalpharmacist.com. I just went to it, and you're looking good sporting gray hair. Look at you. You know,
it's a little grayer now. I'm thinking I might have to get another headshot. You know what I mean?
No, I think you look good. I think you're looking awesome there.
Thanks, man. Thank you, guys.
David, thank you.
All right, take care.
Next time you're in the area, we'd like to have you in the studio.
I will. I'll think about it ahead of time when I drive by. Okay. See you later.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, David. We'll be right back.